roads we travel, the journey of our lives. Take another picture before we say goodbye. Arm in arm we're standing side by side. Memories fade but legends never die. One last time, let's live for something. I can feel my blood, it's rushing. This ain't goodbye, we'll be back someday. And we will find our own way, take control of our fate. And like a car with no brakes, crash and learn, make mistakes. And we'll be back one day. Dreams wanna go fast. Know this energy's here to last. Not a glass half full or a flow that gotta keep your eyes up on the prize. Only got one life, so it's worth a try. To find what makes you feel alive, that's the only way to live it right. And now we're all doing our own thing, but I'll never forget our glory days. My mind is full of the memories, yeah. And I'll never forget what they meant to me. Don't worry, we'll be back one day to celebrate our glory days. Although it's over now, don't let it get you down. We'll be back around. For now we can feel some sorrow. A new day, it starts tomorrow. We'll wake up, new dreams to follow. A new goal and brand new motto. Last time, let's live for something. I can feel my blood, it's rushing. This ain't goodbye, we'll be back someday. And we will find our own way, take control of our fate. And like a car with no brakes, crash and learn, make mistakes. And we'll be back one day. I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. Let's break it down for a minute. I want the crown, I'm gon' get it. You hear me loud, man, I'm winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen will be grinning. These ladies know that I'm sinning, and this is just the beginning. I'm closing in the ninth inning, there ain't no point in resisting. Living life like a dream, live it right, that's the thing. Every night, got a team, I've been tied to the scene. Out on stage, here on screen, okay, it's a dream. And I pray as a team, one day it'll be me. If I want it, then I get it. Head down, don't regret it. Push myself to the limit. If I play it, then I win it. I'm just saying, I'm just living for today. For a minute, I don't stay, I just visit. Have no shame, I admit it. Looking right at me to see if I succeed, to see if I believe. They're looking up to me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now. Swear to God, man, I'ma make it soon. Silence all the haters as they see us making moves. I do what I want, so I got nothing to prove. Staying motivated, teaching others what to do. I'm staying focused, my mind is open. They start to notice that I'm in motion. There is no potion, you're not just chosen. It takes devotion to stay composed, man. Never stop, there ain't no time to fall. Try to live, get it up, you got one life to ball. Thinking big, never small, cause you gotta want it all. When you finally get that call, you get ready, take it on. Need a handout, I already stand out. Starting to advance now, ready to expand now. You don't have a chance now, cause we're in demand now. Make it by the grand now, feeling in command now. They're looking right at me to see if I succeed, to see if I believe. They're looking up to me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now. always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets. Live with every breath, see my message start to spread. And I had so many dreams, when you hit your teens, life ain't really what it seems. Try to find out what it means. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win. I don't want no fake love, I want the real stuff. Everybody listen up, cause I'll only say it once. I'm gonna show you all the path, if you want it bad. I'm gonna show you where it's at, yeah, how you can get it back. Yeah, cause I ain't never done, I'll be number one. Working hella hard until I get just what I want, yeah. Rises like the sun, yeah, fatal like a gun. Shooter's gonna shoot and I'm gonna shoot until I won, yeah. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. Grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win, yeah.
Close till I get up, time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways. And on we'll go. Turns to sun rays. And on we'll go. turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon. Turn us to thousands, and on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and
I welcome all the viewers to 19th Chessbrainz Club Arena. I'm your host Abhishek, and we have a special guest today with us. Hi, Coach Sanskriti.
Hi Abhishek, how are you?
I'm just doing amazing. Are you excited to see the kids filling us on
Yeah,
the
I'm
board?
definitely excited to be here and share this space with you.
Perfect. So we are getting the first request for Rishi. Let's quickly dive into his game and see what is the
Yeah,
kid making out of it.
the games have already started.
Yes. We currently have 42 participants in the tournament, but we need to see how far this goes.
Okay.
So Rishi is taking on Hinal. Rishi is playing from the pieces of white, while Hinal is playing from the pieces of black. What
Yeah,
is your take on this position?
it's typical Italian structure here. And oh, okay, knight g5 was free.
Yes, I think they are going for a bit of aggressive approach, and this is looking slightly intimidating for the black right now. But black is trying a counterplay, but let's see how it goes. Because after knight takes and let's say after pawn takes, the position is going to change completely.
Bishop h6, yeah, and the rook has to
Yes,
move.
that's correct.
But currently black is face up, so white has to come up with some counter attack right away.
Yes.
So
How about knight
white,
f3? Yeah, even knight e2. We can clearly see at this point that white has ended up losing their queen on the board,
yeah.
even though white was going really aggressive. So this is the beauty of Italian game. You know, it is super simple, yet highly aggressive and unpredictable, where even if you carry good experience, you can end up facing difficulties in this.
Yeah, and for white, I feel white should have moved the king to h1 and then ideas like maybe queen g3 earlier. Um, if you go back a bit.
Yes,
I mean, later on, of course, the knight was there.
definitely. I think this bishop played a really important deal in this attack because this
Mm.
bishop was the one who gave the platform to the knight. The knight just jumped on e2 and then the position was over. Also, leaving this queen in the range of this bishop was also another mistake by the white, right?
Yeah, definitely. And it's really good to see how black is playing. Like, even with the material, black is playing a lot of attacking moves.
That's quite true. And now, what else do we see? Is now for the white needs to find some way to maybe go with the rook lift at this point because two bishops are just not enough to complete this attack on the king, right? If they're still looking to win this game or do something, they need to do a rook lift. They need to get another rook into the battle, and then slowly they can build a good attack.
Yeah. Now black should try something like rook d8, d5, trying to prevent the idea of rook lift.
That's correct.
So I think in this position, black is clearly winning now.
That's true. Black is completely dominant. Yes, white have some things left because as they have a bishop pair, the king is a bit compromised. But I don't think black is going to give any chances for the counterplay of white.
Yeah,
It is
definitely.
going to be really difficult. Yeah.
Even the rook on a1 is still not in the game.
Yes, that's true. Now just yes, actually this was meant to happen. So black gave a beautiful sacrifice of the bishop on f3, knowing the fact that the king can't travel on g1, and white accepted the sacrifice and black just took the pawn and the game was over for the white here.
Yeah,
So what we see, the kids have not given enough time to the position, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
they could have thought a bit more. Let's say for Rishi, he had like 4 minutes and 49 seconds in the clock out of 5. So they could have taken a bit of more time and thought and played, and that could have been better for them.
Yeah,
We are
from
going
the
to take on the
opening
next
itself,
request.
both were playing fast.
Yeah, that's true. We are getting a request for Kailash, even though he has already won one game. We are going to quickly just have a glance of that game.
Okay.
So, Rishi was Kailash was playing from the pieces of white against Taraf. They were playing from the black. And the game started
It's
with
very
English,
interesting.
quite unexpected. Yeah.
Yeah,
Then it was a traditional King's English here.
yeah.
And then we have the typical English structure. Now, this is more like Botwinic English I've seen, even though you will have some weak squares, but the main typical plan includes to have the knight on e2, pawn d3, bishop e3, queen d2, and then short castle, or even you can long castle. So, a very good setup that White selected here.
Yeah, I definitely. It's very interesting. White's kind of choice of opening here.
Yeah. And White is primarily focusing on controlling the light squares in the center. Then the game just kept going
White
and
is
breaking with
just
f4.
going for the attack.
Yes. White is just going for the attack. So generally in the short castle, we go with f4. If the king is in the center, we break with d4. And if it's the queen side, we open with the a3, b4 here. That was the main point. And definitely, White is looking really strong. Now, knight to h5 turns out to be a blunder. Can you tell our viewers why is this a blunder?
Maybe there could be idea like pawn to d4 and then d5 coming up.
Yes, that is correct. Generally,
Okay.
see, one of the important reasons is knights on the rim are dim. Okay. So it loses and it's a blunder because there can be a lot of like now the look at the white center at this point, as you
Yeah,
said about d4.
d4, d5.
Taking with the knight is wrong here. Okay, fine. Let's say they took with the knight. The another option was
Yeah,
to take it
because
with the
bishop
rook.
capture d4 is coming, right?
Yes. Bishop captures b4 is also there. So you can't take with the knight because this pawn is going to fall. So taking
Yeah,
with the rook or taking with the pawn could have been more ideal. Now, generally, if you take with the pawn, you just have a too strong center and then you can use this open file against the opponent's king.
yeah. And clearly white is going to win the material after the fort happening on d5.
That's true. Now the knight went on e2 in this position and bishop captured the pawn on b2, which is all fine. If I compare this position, even though white has some weak pawns, but the activity of the white is keeping them ahead in the game at this point.
That's true. Black's rook are kind of still passive.
Yes. I mean, they're putting pressure on this isolated, but just see, like, the bishop is beautifully holding on to this weak pawn.
So
What
black
could have
is
been a... Would you prefer
c7.
taking on c7? Yeah. I mean, there could have been a lot of more tactics coming down the line, right?
Yeah, yeah. Maybe developing like queen d2 and ideas like rook c1.
Yes. That could have been better in this position. But we generally say backward is awkward, right? Because
Yeah,
if you leave your opponent's kingdom, your pieces won't have the same privilege to attack their kingdom. That was one of the biggest challenges in the position. Then black just took the control of the open file. If you leave it, your opponent's rook can penetrate in your half of the board.
okay.
And here, there was a skewer on the board.
Yeah,
And black could have saved by maybe let's say going with
supporting
queen
the
b5
knight.
was a better option. Yeah. But they just went for the pawn, forgetting the fact that it was a skewer. And then white just got the knight. The game went further and there was a doubling of a rook and a queen in the sleeping battery. The king is on the second rank as well. So this started creating some problem. And Kailash defended it with rook e1. Bishop came over. Now black is slowly shifting their pieces into the opponent's half of the board.
Yeah, okay. So knight capture c3, the rook capture g2 is coming up.
Definitely. This was a blunder by the black. They didn't pay attention, or it can, it could have been a mouse slip as well. We never know.
Yeah,
And then rook took over, and here white was better because they just simply had more material on the board.
definitely.
There are two minor pieces up at this point. and they just simply traded, simply, liquidated their position.
Oh,
Kids had a good amount of time, like they had 3 minutes 42 seconds, and this might
I
have been a
think this is the
pre-move.
pattern that we see that kids are playing fast.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we want the kids to play it a bit slower, right?
Yeah.
So this was one of the points. Kids should take time, and both are really good players. We can take on the next request right now. We are getting a request for Vihan at this point. So Vihan is taking on Reyansh. Reyansh is playing from the pieces of black, and Vihan is playing from the pieces of white. And when we look at this position, we are
White is-
currently, yes, white is a piece up right now.
Two pieces. Oh, it's a for rook.
It's actually for a rook. So there has been some attack which black brought up on f2. But yeah, I think the only thing black is having into their pocket is the king's safety. Apart from that, two minor pieces are always better than one rook, right?
Definitely. And
So-
white pieces seem more active.
Definitely. White pieces are all well developed.
So what do you think? Like white should exchange the pieces now?
Exchanging might not be the best deal. I mean, they can do it if they want to, but here trying for some good attack. I mean, we can clearly see white is expanding on the queen side, so they are trying to create a play on this side as well. But I can see there is a hook pawn on h6, so white can think of going queen g3, then try to take on h6, and this hook pawn weakness can be one of the things that they can look to target. But after queen h4, it might not be possible.
Yeah. That's right. I'm just
Also,
thinking, how should white develop the rook now?
yes, it's a high time the rook has not came into the battle. And I'm just thinking black can just win a tempo on the bishop. Bishop can go back, and after that black can just trade down, and they can try to damage the white's pawn structure because it is looking really strong at this point.
Oh,
Okay, g5.
Black wants to play g4, I guess.
Yeah,
So they're
g4
trying
isn't a
to
bad
attack
deal.
on opposite sides. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, but when you have a queen around the king, oh wait, is it a this skewer, if I'm not mistaken? The bishop can be met with bishop g1, yeah.
Yeah.
This can go into a pin, but there can be a discovery down the line, but it's defended by the bishop. Queen has to now intervene from g1. Okay, it looks fine. I think black should avoid the trade at this point if they are attacking.
Yes.
They should look
definitely.
for some more. They can think of getting their f pawn into the battle, try to trade off and get this rook into the game maybe.
Yeah, f5
For
would
them-
be a very good move here.
f5, and if they can somehow manage to get this rook into the battle, the tables might turn. On the other hand, there's a fork I can see.
Yes, yes. c6.
Yeah. Now what? The knight is now going to go back. They can take on the bishop if they want to, but this opens up the
last
rook, and this can
side,
be.
yeah.
I mean, wait, what? Okay, there's a fork coming on a1, and then you're losing your rook basically. So brilliant spotting of tactic by the black here. So how do the players find these kind of tactics in the position? Can you please tell our viewers?
It's very interesting. I guess that is how, if you continuously just solve puzzles, we have this puzzle rush both on like chess.com and VChess. So it builds up the intuition that needs to be, when we solve the positions or find the ideas regarding tactics. So that could be the reason why they find it so quickly.
That's true. And it's like, you have to be persistent or at least consistent, right? You have to show up every day to your career, and you keep on putting those few games, few puzzles, and when that all gets combined, it gives us this kind of result, right?
Yes, yes.
It's a work of every day that comes into the game. At this point, black is now doing better. Now we can say black is doing fine. white needs to quickly find some way and try to attack the king. But as soon as the, as far as the queen is around the king, it is going to be difficult for the white to achieve a checkmate.
Yeah, king's position is just a bit weird. Otherwise, there could have been ideas like knight d5 and
Yes.
putting a pressure on h6 pawn, but just pin.
Yes, that pin is making, and even we could have went for h6 as you said, and that could have been really, really good. But now we need to see how the tables turn. Even the rook can now come on the g8 at some point and they can aim down the g file.
That's true.
Okay, now there can be a rook check again, but it can be further met with king d1. Okay, there's a queen check.
Bishop d2.
Bishop comes over, but then rook falls in. Your queen has to defend, and then potentially you move the knight and try a counter attack on h6.
Yeah, so very interesting to see how both sides
Definitely,
are doing.
both kids are playing really well. But I would like to tell one thing to our viewers. Rayansh is just an 800 and Vian is a 1300. And then these kids are, making so much good out of this position and this deal. Now just look at this. You move the knight and there's a silent threat on h6. Also, there can be ideas of bishop. Okay, there was an idea of bishop a4 and you can try to hit the rook if you want to. But the rook just went back. And now maybe moving the knight can create... Definitely. Just going for the center. Okay, this somehow cuts off the queen from going back to this diagonal. But how
Yeah,
useful
also I
it is.
think the idea of bringing the bishop back to d3 and trying to somehow open the diagonals, because bishop on d5 is not really doing much.
Doing anything. That's correct. And
Yeah.
even that bishop can, it can contribute in the defense of the white as well, right? As the king is
Yes.
centralized, they might need to solidify their position. So like maybe you can gain a tempo and then suddenly you have some knight move coming in. So positions can make a difference. Okay, now there's a check.
Yeah. Oh, and knight f6.
Bishop, pawn push.
E7.
Yeah, this...
Wait.
Oh, that's a mate.
Mate.
Amazing, yeah. Because queen just ended up covering all the square next to the king. And then just knight came over and delivered a sort of smothered mate, which is not a smothered actually. But yeah, good game by both the players. And yes, it was really interesting to see. Let's head to the next request we are getting for now. We are getting a request for Manikandan.
There's so much tactics happening in all of the games that we saw.
And this was a good positional play as well, not only the tactics. At least this game had both of it. So Manikandan is playing as black, taking against Arun. He's playing from white. Arun is an 1800, Manikandan is a 1300. And when we look at this position, it is really spicy because this battery is pointing down the black's king. And the black's king safety has been a bit compromised here.
Yeah, material is equal, so I think white is putting bit of a pressure because of against black's king position. And
That is
also
correct.
the queen
And
on h6.
she's
don't
really
see.
dull, right? Yep.
Yeah, even the
I
bishop
think
on c8, like, it's kind of blocked.
that's dead. I mean, you want your pieces to be in the battle before you go in the fight, right? You need to have that sword in your hand. How do you fight without your weapons? So
And
definitely,
that is what we teach them in
okay,
the
there's a
basics,
pin.
right?
Yes, these are the basics. Even though white can think of black can think of moving the pawn and try discovery here. If there's no big threat on the black's king, you definitely want to try this.
Yeah. But now d5, queen capture g5 can be played,
Yes, queen captures g5 is there.
and then the
That will
knight
lead to a forced trade though. Yeah.
yeah.
But the question is white interested in trading down the queen when they are the one who is attacking?
If white is
They
able
might.
to win the f6 knight, then maybe yes. Let's see.
That's true. Yeah. Yes, eventually the knight is going to fall, right? After queen takes, pawn takes, your frozen knight is being attacked and you have no way to save it. So that is correct. After queen takes, there's going to be the knight fall if there are going to be trade off the pieces. But yeah, now queen takes is coming, and as per our calculation, this is going in the white's favor.
Yeah.
Knight is off the game.
Right.
And when we go further from this position, black needs to come back somehow. Even the pawn on d5 is going to weaken up after the knight leaves the board.
Can we
It's
just
the
go
sole
back and
defender.
see how black ended up in this position? The king on G7.
Definitely. Yeah. So there was an early skirmish on the board where there was England gambit, knight takes. Now knight c6 is a common line in that. And typical structure was going on. Queen takes. So black was trying some gambit against d4, but it somehow seems backfired. And here, when the bishop on f8 left for b4, the g7 was a weakness. And after this trade, the white got a skewer along this diagonal.
Yeah, white got
Even the queen tried
activity
holding.
as well as putting pressure.
Yeah, they like won a tempo, their piece got activated. And now black was the one who had a bit of difficulty in this position. There was a normal castle as well. And the queen got cornered. And then white started going with h4, a kingside attack. And black decided to play g5, which is quite surprising at this point. G5 might not contribute the best.
Lot of queen moves. Instead of that d6, just developing the white bishop, like white color.
Bishop could have been better, definitely. You get your bishop into the battle, you get your rooks, and you have a very, very neat position to play your game.
Okay.
And the rest is all in front of us. Like if we scroll down this game, we can clearly see the white is having a very strong lead.
So one thing
If
for
it's
the children and viewers, that first go with the basic principle, develop your pieces, castle, put out your minor pieces, which is very important.
There's a passer along the h file, which makes this position interesting. But their bishop is well positioned in the center, covering h1 properly. So I don't think if white is going to have any challenges while dealing with it. And one thing that is missing is like both the kids don't have their rooks connected on the board till now, right? Now white has connected it.
Yeah.
Okay, that looks fine. When we look at the clock, Manikandan is also in the slight time pressure at this point.
True.
Now,
3, yeah.
I think white could have went for the forced trade, right? If they wanted to, because
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have more material, so you should look to simplify.
Yeah. Okay.
Can there be a checkmate soon?
The f6 is fine. Oh, okay. So there's bishop c3.
Good game by the white here.
Yeah. Again, good tactical moves happening.
Tactics, yeah. I mean, look at the kids and their tactics.
Yeah, they don't want to simplify the position right away. They'll always find this tactical moves.
Yeah. And now there is no ray of hope left for the black unless white goes wrong on their own and do something. Now the h3 is going to fall really soon. I think this game has already concluded. We can take on the next request right now.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. So I'm quickly going to give a glance of our leaderboard to the viewers. Shah Chess is on the 10th position with 4 points. Chess Forever on the 9th position with 4 points. Manikandan on the 8th position with 4 points. Sanj on the 7th position with 4 points. Rishi on the 6th position with 8 points. So we see from the 10th position to the 7th position, all the players have the same number of points. Now, Manvik is on the 6th position with 8 points. Ashrit on the 5th position with 8 points. Vian on the 4th position with 8 points. Newborn is on the 3rd position with 8 points. Sain is on the 2nd position with 8 points. So we have like 6 kids who have 8 points and they all are on the win streak right now. Swayam is the only dominator who has won 6 games in a row and has won all of them with 100% of win rate.
That's great. And his rating is also 1450. So
Yeah, he does not have any exclusive rating. Still, he's performing really exclusively in this tournament. We can say.
That's great.
Yeah.
And there's really huge gap, like 8 and 20.
Yes. Yes. Let's go on the next request now.
Sure.
So we are getting a request for Joshua. Okay, so Joshua is playing from the pieces of white and he's playing against Kailash. They're playing from the pieces of black. And white is doing slightly better here because of their knight and there has been a good fork.
Yeah.
The rook is going to fall in the very next move. Okay, they have a counter attack, so rook takes f2 is a deal. Oh,
Okay. This is
what was wrong with rook takes f2?
that is the correct move there.
Yeah. I think, see, they still have like almost 3 minutes into their clock. They should play a bit slower. And
Yeah.
we have already seen they are doing well, but they can do fantastic after taking their time. Wait, has white missed something?
Definitely.
Yes, there were connected passers on the board,
Yeah.
and
This
now this is the real terror.
Yeah.
I think the black is going to take a lead in this game.
This is just clear winning for black.
Black is completely better. They can even think of doing a checkmate directly if they want to. Currently, they are chasing the h7, but yeah, this is not a big deal for them.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you want to simplify, it's fine, right? You can give one of your queens knight takes, and then you can take on g4, right? Just simplify, play a queen versus knight endgame, and you should not have no difficulty winning this. You can like give one of your queen and play it easily without complicating stuff. Okay, even this is
Also
fine.
checkmate with 2 queens. So like that
Yes.
that would be the easiest.
Yeah, that is going to be more terrifying for the other kid, but yeah. What is white going to do now? They will try to connect the passers.
Yeah.
Or even you can think of sacrificing the queen. No, queen sacrifice isn't a choice here because of the pawn takes on f6, so that
I
doesn't work.
think this queen c3 and taking the f6 knight, like
Yeah,
queen,
but yeah, that is fine.
h queen to c3
H queen to c3. Okay.
earlier.
Yeah, that can be a deal. I think, see, even black is also struggling to convert this position. Liquidating the position is the best way to go here, right? You just simplify without worrying much. Now the knight is going to fall definitely,
Yeah, and
but
it's very
after pawn takes,
important.
it's
Like,
yeah,
often players have this material advantage, but to actually convert that game into a winning game is also a task. So sometimes they
yes.
could just go for an attack, but the simplest way is to just exchange and finish the game.
Definitely, I mean, it's always important. Just gaining the material advantage is not the only goal. You should know what has to be done after that. It's about getting the complete result. Here, I think the black figured it out. This was just what we were discussing, and it just took place on the board. So good game by Kailash here, but even white also played well.
Yes.
We can take on the next request now.
Okay.
Now we are getting a request for Mr. Chess Forever. So Mr. Chess is playing from black against Lakshya. They are playing from the pieces of white. Chess Forever is almost to 1400. Lakshya is 1000. So definitely this game is worth watching. What is your take on position? Like, which side would you prefer to play with here?
So right now the bishop on e6 is hanging, like the knight has to move. Black knight is attacked, and then the rook will capture on e6. So white rook has this double rook on e file. So I feel white's rook are again bit active compared to the black. It's still on a8, and even the white knight can be played in the center, or just knight b5.
Yeah,
Attacking the c7, which is
both
again.
works fine. Here the kid decided to give the knight and keep the bishop alive, which can be a smart decision on the board because the
Yeah,
bishops can outplay in the open positions, right? And we
yeah,
can see it's not a close position. So in the end game, this might be a good decision. While, as you said, the knight is going to jump in the center, the rooks are already having a phenomenal control along the e file. So position looks really good for the white here, but we need to see what kids make out of it.
yeah. Then weak pawns. Yes,
Yes,
even
there's a double
h6 is,
pawn, so
yeah.
h6 is weak. Even though the king will try to come around, but it is not going to change anything really on the board. If white can somehow manage to get their bishop on this pawn, and if they can use this open file in the future, they can create some play on the board and they can bring their last rook into the game.
Yeah, that's true. So now, yeah, capture and rook e7 looks good for white.
Yes, rook e7 is coming now. What is black going to do? Okay, the knight jumped over on e7. Fine. There are no more tactics at this point. If the king goes on some wrong square, then there can be idea of knight g6.
Yeah,
But
for
I'm
black, the
sure the
idea should be just to exchange the pieces now, go for exchange. That would
yes,
be
your opponent's attack is dominant at this point. So you want to exchange your bad pieces for their good one, and eventually that is going to neutralize the whole position for you and your opponent. That is correct. Good thing to see that both the players are taking time. At least Chess Forever is thinking and making the moves.
yeah.
Knight has went back on d5 at this point, and now
Black
there's a
should
chance of
definitely,
trading.
yes.
Definitely, now there's a chance of trading at least one pair of your rook.
Now rook e8 would be a mistake in case, because knight
Yeah,
f6 was.
knight f6 is always there. Yes. So I was thinking the same, but again, the bishop can reposition itself. At some point, they need to cleverly get their rook against this pawn, and they can think of some play along this weak pawn. Because nothing else is left, nothing else is there for the black to do apart from that. One more idea in the end game can be, black has majority along the queen side, right? So they can
Yeah,
try
yeah.
to trade down to an end game, and then they can create a passer on the queen side. That can be one of the plans here. Now, here white could have thought of getting this knight somewhere on a good position, and then a rook e7 can be a fork in the next move.
Yeah, black is doing completely fine. Now
Yeah,
rook g7 ideas is possible.
definitely. Rook g7 is there, but it has now got covered by the knight. Okay, but rook
Now
takes
rook
h6 is always there. But knight is
earlier
now
it is,
going to hang.
yeah,
Knight needs to go back to g3 at this point.
yes. Okay, I think black should just take the rook.
Black is trying to maintain the double attack, but after knight takes bishop, how do you deal that position, right? Just taking it could have been slightly better at this point.
Yeah,
because black has a material advantage of 1 point right now. That extra pawn will make a difference if you have a bishop.
Even after just now take the rook and then knight capture f7
No,
bishop.
what just happened is really surprising at this point. After this, black played, okay, rook d7. Okay, they got their rook out of the danger, and now black is completely winning. There's no way they can lose.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you are just winning a pawn, and then you can roll down your passes into the queen, and you are just winning after that. I think this is over. Yeah. Good game by Mr. Chess Forever here, and Lakshya as well. We can take on the next request right now. So we are getting a request for Arav. So Arav is playing from the pieces of black against Devvardhan. They are playing from the pieces of white. And black completely seems dominant, right?
Yes, yes.
I mean, you know, nothing much is left. You have a bishop, you have a knight. Your passer is going to
Pawn
queen
is
up,
blocked,
and
white's pawn is
Yeah.
blocked.
and white's last ray of hope was even blocked. So nothing was left in the position as such, and black just easily converted it. We can quickly try to take a glance of this game and figure out how did this position came up for the white here.
Okay.
So okay, there was like this Rosso gambit, if I'm not mistaken, with pawn f5. And then white got a complete control of the center as a compensation. But generally, your king badly weakens up along this full diagonal when you do this. And black kept on gaining space in the center.
Oh,
But your king safety is going to be badly compromised at this point if you can figure out this.
that's right.
And the knight was played on h6 in order to recapture this pawn. But your king safety is a very big concern at this point. And you can't castle on the king side for the rest of the game because the landing square of the king has been taken by the light square bishop of the white.
Bishop
And,
e7 is also pinned. Yeah.
Yes. Now to just unpin your bishop, they had to move the bishop and they lost their castling rights.
Oh, bishop b2. Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Here bishop f6 is a very good idea, but that can be covered again if they want to. Wait, can that be covered? Okay, bishop check was given here, and this forced that this is a binding move actually. This binded the bishop back on e7, and then what white did? Your king is in the center. I'll try to open up lines in the center, right? And that's what white did beautifully here. Again, there was some exchange of pieces, but white is doing completely fine at this point. The king safety is
Black
with the white.
defended well. Yeah.
Yeah. Black did defended.
There must be something for white. White attacks.
I think the trade of the queens went wrong in the white's case, right? Let's say if you don't trade the queens, you keep your chances alive to checkmate a centralized king, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That could have been a way to go here. Trading down doesn't make that much of big difference. What else they
Even
could have
earlier
tried
when
here?
the bishop was still there on the board, I think white's position was much better. Yeah, here.
Yeah, even till this point, I can say white is doing fine.
So you're taking on g7 instead of first taking on g7.
Like with the pawn?
Yeah, white taking on g7. I mean,
Ah, yeah, that could have opened up the center. That's what. So if the center is open, you get complete advantage of your opponent's, compromised king safety, right? And that's what the kid missed. And after the trade, it's quite evident that a centralized king won't have much problems playing in this position.
yeah.
The knights
Since
were
the
tripping
queens are
over.
also exchanged, so no much counter.
Yeah, yeah. If the queens are missing, it's going to be really difficult for your opponent to punish your centralized king.
Black here missed knight e2.
Yeah. Black also missed knight e2 here. It was a simple fork to win a complete rook.
Yeah.
They missed it. They attacked the bishop of the white, and white decided to play rook to e1 because they must have figured it out and they decided to just stop that threat from coming in. So they gave up the bishop, but ensured that the knight e2 doesn't falls for them. Then black just traded to an endgame because they had very good material advantage on the board. And the rest is in front of us after all that.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a quite dominant game. And that's what we saw at the end of the game, right? The black was 2 pieces up and they had no difficulty converting it into a win. So rest is all what we have seen already. So good game by both of the players. Even white did a very good attack at the start. Yeah, we are going to take on the next request for Shah Chess. I request all the viewers. Yeah, Swayam is dominant, but he has lost his streak after playing against Sanj. So I request all the viewers, if you are liking our work, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and please show your love for the kids in the comment section so we can quickly take you through their games. Okay, I would like to see how Swayam lost his game, right?
Yes.
I mean, this kid was like doing really well from the start of the game. So how did Sanj broke the streak? So Swayam was playing white, Sanj was playing black. The game just kept on going. There was traditional Italian on the board.
Yeah.
And then there was a fried liver.
Attack.
Okay. I think pawn to a6 is not the move, right? You just simply play knight f6 and you castle on the king side. I think this was an offbeat move that came down the repertoire. And then, yes, they tried holding to the position. There was again some early skirmish coming on the board. Knight d4 again, as we saw in the first game. This is almost the same position. And pawn to f4 was played, and this creates, the weakness on your... because see, now the long range weapon is pointing down your king, right? A front piece is blocking the way. So there are going to be discoveries, double checks as well. Which is the reason... Yeah. Position just got collapsed. What you would have played here instead of pawn f4, let's say, as white?
Knight capture c2 looks fine, winning the pawn. But yeah, even bishop g4 is there, attacking the queen. So queen has to move. And then knight capture c2 can be played. Like, if the queen moves to e1.
Yes, I mean, as we saw in the first game, right? Like knight g4 or bishop g4 was a very strong idea here, as you said. And pawn f4 wasn't the best deal. They could have thought of just developing even if they didn't know what to do, right?
Yeah, I mean, if
Maybe
the bishop is on the king's diagonal, pawn f4 seems very unsafe.
Or you can always think of, let's say, king h1 and then pawn f4 could have been better. They did it because opponent's king was in the center and they were looking to add one more attacker to the f7 pawn. That was their main point. But either ways, you need to have a good balance between your own king safety, your own safety, and your attack. You need to have a fine balance and then you can go. And then the rest is in front of us. The white just lost a rook and the knight jumped over. Bishop g4 was the best move in the position. Knight might not do everything here.
Yeah, because it's also developing the bishop, attacking the queen. So bishop g4 seems good.
Yeah. Bishop g4 was really well here.
Try something again like knight f2 check.
Knight f2 is assuming here. Then there was a knight capturing on f7, which was another mistake. Bishop takes f7 could have been better according to the stockfish here, and then it's fine. Queen just came over. So both the kids were engaged in an early attack. Knight check came, and then are you going to take here with the queen or with the bishop?
So with the queen, there could be ideas in future like queen g1 and making sure that the white queen still stays on the last rank.
Yeah, that is correct. Like you have to settle that battery right next to the king. So taking with the queen is always the way. Like always try to bring your bigger pieces next to your opponent's king. The rook just took over on. The knight just took the rook. and the position was going up. But definitely, if you have these many pieces next to your opponent's king, the survival is going to be extremely difficult. And there were a mate in 6, and yeah, the white could have continued here, but the game just fell short, and black ended up winning here
lot of
after.
tactics and lot of attack happening
Yeah,
from both the sides.
definitely. Like when you go for an early attack, this is going to be a really common thing into your games, right? This game was really wild, I'm going to say. And if you are not good at handling the pressure, then you are going to collapse in it, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah. We are in the last 15 minutes of this tournament, and the tournament seems really interesting here. We are going to take on the game of Rudransh now. So, Rudransh is playing from the pieces of black against Nepal Arnav. They're playing from the pieces of white.
Okay. Black looks good already.
Yes. Here also we see some early opening skirmish, right?
Yeah. Again, this is the pattern that we have been seeing, like a lot of tactics, premature move, like even before the development, there's a lot of attack, premature attack, you can say. And the
Yes.
king's
But
position is always weird.
yes, that's true. But I think maybe at this rating range, it might be acceptable. The kids are 800, 900. But especially when you're a 1300, you want to look for the solid opening options and at least play the basics right, get your opening principles done, and that will take you far ahead in your chess, right? It's quite
Yeah, yeah.
basic, but it's quite effective. At this point, maybe they might be learning traps, and opponent might even fall because of the, because of the lower rating bar. But maybe at higher rating range, I don't expect that. But yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
and
repetitive pattern as you
also like
observed.
we
Yeah.
discussed, they solve a lot of tactical puzzles. So that is what we are seeing right now.
Yes. So when that early opening attacks mixed with,
Tactics.
a lot of a lot of like tactical game, then it just brings out something wild on the board as we have seen. Now at this point, even when we see, look at the White's army. Most of the army is undeveloped, which is meant to actually be a part of the game. You want your minor pieces out. You want your rooks to be connected. Your king needs to be safe. And the same even goes for the black. The king's safety is compromised. The pieces are undeveloped.
Both same thing for both the sides.
Let's just try to take a look. How did this position came up? Again, there was knight f6, so fried liver is quite evident here. And black allowed the fried liver with the idea of counterplay on f2 as well. Would you prefer queen f2 here?
In f2, king has to go to d3 and then
d3.
maybe knight b4. Wait, is it checkmate?
Knight d4 can be met with king takes e4.
Okay. Yeah.
The knight is going to hang. But wait, can we come up with a queen check at this point and try something else? Might not be the best option. Check. King d3. Then you can think of a queen check to defend the knight. King again might jump back. It's like going to be a back and forth. But maybe you can just then you just might want to take that bishop or something. There is actually a lot in that position as well.
So here, if we go a bit back, like,
Yeah.
yeah, right now maybe d5 and then bringing the bishop to g4.
That is actually really interesting because then you just get that skewer and you win
Yeah.
that queen, right?
Even the bishop is attacked, yeah.
Even their bishop will get disconnected to the knight for a moment as well. So opponent might just think of defending and they might just fall for the main trap, right?
So that is why we need more pieces. We can see we need
That's
the
true.
bishop here. Yeah.
Finally, d4 has been played, but now it's not the same situation anymore.
Still bishop f5, yes.
The black is setting up a discovery down the line or a double check if they want to. But yeah, I think the next plan can be just knight f2 and just take the queen if you don't know how to hold up on this position. One thing about Rudransh that I observed, he's just having 1 minute in his clock remaining, and Arnav has not taken that amount of time on the board. So knight went back.
Yeah, knight f2 was clearly better, right?
It was just like getting your opponent to resign or something like that. This was not needed actually in the position. And even though black is still doing fine, they can again come up with some. But how fast, like, the clock is,
You know, like
the only challenge for them is the clock.
Okay.
Yeah, even a5 is fine.
Black, yeah.
And a5 can just be can just give the mating threat of b4. So, or you can try bishop check.
Even a4 is coming, so
Yeah, a5 a4 is also there. You can come up with the bishop check as well at this point, because knight jumps, bishop takes, and the game is off. I mean, it's done. It's just now this is a mate.
c4 and then just capture it.
Yeah, c4 might come in, but yeah, either ways, I mean, you can take with the queen. Fine, good game. But yeah, I mean, they need to avoid early opening skirmishes.
Yeah. And take some time, definitely.
Yes, taking the time is the best way to go. Now we are getting a request for John. We are in the last 8 minutes, so in the last 5 minutes, we are then going to focus on the leaderboard itself, how it turns. Okay, so John is taking against Ahan. Ahan is playing white, John is playing black, and both does not have a big rating difference at this point. Again, black is trying something different. Look at their pawn structure right now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out black's
What is this?
plan here.
Initially, my thoughts were like, is it the stone wall? But that's definitely not the case here.
No, no.
So white was just going for the normal Italian. On this side, the black played pawn d6, which is the Philidor. And I remember one game which is really popular, if you know, the opera game where Morphy played pawn d4 in the position. I think that
Yes,
was,
yes.
it always reminds me of that.
A very
Then-
good game with the rook and bishop mate.
Yeah. That last, the queen sacrificed the mate, it reminds me of that all the time. So now, again,
Like move like pawn f6 definitely doesn't make sense. We usually go for
Yeah.
knight f6. So
the light squares are well compromised. If they can like knight sacrifice, they can come up with a queen attack and they can try something quick as well if they want to.
yeah.
I mean, it won't pay well because the e4, e5 pawn is well protected. Otherwise, even I've seen players taking on knight takes on e5, and the queen comes over, and the position also gets wild after that. Pawn c6 might be the way to continue, and then you just lose.
Again, if we compare the development of pieces, it's very clear white is ahead in terms of development.
White is ahead. Also, I will not say, even black was well controlling the d5, but as soon as they played pawn to c5, there was a hole into their kingdom, a weak
Yes,
square,
yeah.
where knight outpost is going to be definitely an idea that white can look in the future. Queen just
Knight
came.
developed to e7 and then because f6 is black
Yeah.
knight has developed to e7.
e7 and they can
Then
slowly bring it
bishop
into the battle.
f8 bishop is completely blocked.
Completely blocked, yeah. And then the game kept on going. One thing white did to their survival is to castle long at this point, because the knight was already out of the way and the queen was coming around. The bishop is already pointing the king side. That could have created some problems. So castling at least early gave them some chances of survival. And then the
I
knight is
like
also
how
coming here.
Knights are playing here. Both knights
Yeah.
are really good.
And then finally that one of those knights achieved a fork. I'll just scroll it back. One of the knights achieved a very good fork and the queen was off the game after that. Just look at this.
Here.
The queen just moves because actually the queen b8 was the way to go here. But
Yeah.
knight fell, knight just took down the queen, and then here black had lost their game. Now there's nothing left for the black in this position except a good center control. But their pieces are all undeveloped. They maybe tried exchanging their bad bishop for a good bishop. That was a good thing. Then black blundered a complete knight in the position, and white just,
Yeah, this is completely winning for white.
yeah, this is completely winning for white. That's true. And then the position, they just resigned. We are in the last 5 minutes of the tournament, and now I want to see how the tables take a turn. Okay, so
Yeah.
we still have Swayam leading the board, 32 points. So I certainly believe in last 5 minutes, it is next to impossible for any other kid to surpass him. So probably he's going to take this complete tournament in his pocket. Now, when we look at the second position, Sain is having 20 points and he's playing against Ashrit. Ashrit is on the fifth position. But if Ashrit is also on the streak, so if he wins, he can get those 4 points and he can get placed on the second place as well.
Okay.
Ashrit's win rate is 75, Sain's win rate is 75. So if Ashrit wins, he's probably going to take on Sain at this point. Okay, then we have a lot of kids on the 16 points. There are 4 and we never know. So let's try to just see what takes place. I would like to take the game of Sain first because the second position is not decided yet.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's just go and take the game. So Sain is playing white, Ashrit is playing black. The good thing about Ashrit, he's just a 1000. Sain is a 1700, but Ashrit is maintaining a bishop pair on the board right now. And Sain's one of the rook is highly inactive at this point. On the other hand, Sain might be having one extra pawn on the board, which is the passer
Yeah,
along
white
the
is
a5.
pawn up. Yes.
Yes.
The black's bishops are kind of holding on right now.
Yes. They are doing okay, but they need to convert it into a complete advantage. So I think they gave one more passer to the white, right?
Yes, yes.
There's one
Even
more
now,
passer
like
now after
knight
the trade.
d5. Yeah, okay.
Okay, now if white plays pawn d5, okay, but yes, there's a bishop. Fine. There's a bishop which is still ensuring, otherwise pawn d5 is the way for the white and they might just do better. And for the white, they can just defend this pawn and they can start rolling the a pawn after that. If you have a passer, it's meant to be pushed.
Yeah. And it's also good to see how knight is blocking the c4 pawn.
Yeah, the passer.
Whether
So
knight is the best piece to block.
that's true. I mean, knight is really good when it comes to blocking down the passes, right?
Yeah.
We are going to witness a really interesting endgame here is what I'm anticipating right now. The knight has came on the outpost defending the d4. For black, can they think of giving their own pawn and then maybe thinking of taking this? Might not be the best choice.
Because white will anyways have that a pass pawn.
A passer. Maybe now the black wants to go bishop c6 and try to trade and change and maybe something like that. I mean, that's the reason why I see. Or there can be idea of, let's say, rook g5 and they want to try something on the g2.
Yeah, yeah. Yes.
Anything can be a possibility here.
Okay, now simply g3. Oh.
Oh, white has missed. King f1 is there, otherwise there can be the tactic of windmill if king h1.
Okay, so
Oh, x3 attack.
yeah. Oh.
Wow. I think that paid
Good
well to the
tactic.
black, I see. Yeah. Skewer followed by that x3 attack. I think this kid has because just see, Sain is a 1700, this kid is just 1000 and he still managed to outplay this kid. Like, just compare 1,000 taking on a 1,700 and then outplaying them. That too in the end game. Having a completely having a controlled game, and then even when the tournament is just going to conclude and they're maintaining all that pressure of the leaderboard and everything, and they're still ensuring to play the high quality moves on the board. This just shows the good composure of the kid during the game, the good stress tolerance, everything.
So true.
Now there's no way. I mean, Sain showed a very beautiful sportsman spirit by giving the game, because that's a good thing. I mean, both kids did really well. So here, when we look at the leaderboard, we finally have our winners with us. Mr. Chess Forever has secured the 10th position with 14 points. Then we have Tanish on the 9th position with 15 points. Then we have Manvik on the 8th position with 16 points. Then we have the Ashrit on the 7th position with 16 points. Then we have Sanvi on the 6th position with 16 points. Then we have Manikandan on the 5th position again with the 16 points. So all the players from the 8th rank to the 5th rank all had the same rankings. I mean, the same points. But their rankings are different because there are some other, performance indicators like the performance rating, then your win rate. The other parameters came to decide the ranking for you. Then we have Arun on the 4th position with 20 points with the 78% of win rate. Then we have Sain on the 3rd position with 20 points and 75% of win rate. Then we have Sanj on the 2nd position with 20 points and a whooping 100% of win rate. This kid he has just played like 6 games and managed to win each and every game that he played. And then we have the winner of this tournament. Swayam has got the 1st position with 32 points and completely outplayed the whole of the tournament, I'm going to say. So this is just amazing. Yeah, but I mean, he played a bit of few more games, I'm going to say, but till the 8th game, he was winning every single game out there. So even though he played fast, but he ensured the good quality in that. And I congratulate to all the winners for playing such an amazing game. I also congratulate to all the participants. You guys showed up here. You gathered experience, and this experience is going to count on your profile, and this will help you to build yourself into a better player in the coming tournaments. Thank you so much, Coach Sanskriti, for tuning with us, sharing the stage, sharing your insights and the knowledge with our viewers and with me.
Thank you so much.
The stage is open for your knowledge. If you want to share something to our viewers, you can share your light with us.
Yeah, thank you so much, Abhishek. I really enjoyed analyzing the games, and I want to first again congratulate to all the participants. And it was very interesting to see how all of the players were playing so tactical games. If we just ignore the basic opening principle part, but we were able to see how both sides were, involved into attacking. We can definitely see their spirit, so it was really fun to analyze and watch their games.
Yeah, I think this tournament was more of the tactics. That's how we can conclude. Thank you so much, viewers, for tuning in and making this evening beautiful. We are going to meet in our next stream. If you liked our work, hit the like button on the stream. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't. We are going to bring more of these streams to you guys. And that's it for today. Take care till then. Bye and have a good time.
Bye. Yeah.
The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see. Burning the bridge that keeps us. I'm here and I'm feeling fearless. Exaggerated, that's what you assume. The story's over now, I must conclude. I am conflicted, watching where I step still, hanging in the balance. Not the life I want to live, I want to take it all. Standing tall, fear outweighed the person you are. Oh, break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it in a sense, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless.